Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting a like and subscribe and maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from Flaky Assumption 4248 from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit. It says, am I the arsehole for bringing my daughter to a child-free wedding? Oof, dearie me. Hi everyone, I'm a 19-year-old mum to my beautiful 2-year-old daughter, Amelia. Just a bit of backstory. Last year, I was asked to be a bridesmaid in a family friend's wedding. I was thrilled and immediately said yes, even though it was a child-free event. I'd arranged for a babysitter, but about a week before the wedding, she informed me that she would no longer be in the city and couldn't watch my daughter. Given the short notice, I approached the bride and asked if I could bring Amelia to the wedding, as I didn't have time to find another trusted babysitter. My daughter is overall a very easygoing baby. She's comfortable with people and happy as long as she's fed. The bride knew this since she watched my daughter on multiple occasions before, and she happily agreed, saying that having Amelia there would make the wedding photos even more special. The wedding was going smoothly, though I noticed a few stares from the groom's parents. Amelia stayed with my sisters for most of the day, but during the reception, I took her with me to congratulate the couple. As I approached with Amelia in my arms, the groom's mother suddenly commented, "You shouldn't have brought a baby to a child-free wedding, especially when she doesn't fit the family." I was completely taken aback. For context, my daughter is mixed. I'm half white and half Hispanic, and her father is black. I've been called whitewashed because I'm not in contact with my Hispanic family. So I knew exactly what she meant by saying my daughter didn't fit the family. The bride looked shocked and the groom immediately stood up and led his parents away. Taking this as my cue, I decided it was time to leave. I made the rounds to say goodbye to everyone and put Amelia in a stroller. As I was leaving, the bride came over to apologize for her in-laws' behavior. I was upset, but I knew it wasn't her fault. So I simply wished her luck and left. Now, about a week after the wedding, I got tagged in a Facebook post. Strange, because I don't use Facebook. The post read, "I'm outraged that my grandchildren weren't allowed at this event, but when a teen mother who couldn't be responsible enough to leave her child with the father brings her baby, it's perfectly fine." The post was from the groom's mother. To make things worse, she's also been telling family members I'm lying about what she said regarding my daughter's appearance. So now I'm wondering, am I the arsehole? And there was a bit of a mix of comments below. The first one said not the arsehole. It sounds like the groom's mother was upset by the no kids policy and wrongly took it out on you. It also sounds like the groom's mother is a dim-witted racist dingus. Halo Shine says this is 100% what happened and I feel really bad for OP's friend here. OP is not the arsehole. Although coming into this post I thought it would be another story of had no other options, so I did this against the couple's wishes and was pleasantly surprised. I can't even say the groom holds any blame, because there's not enough information here to know what he said to his mother when he led her away or what he did about the post. But the bride seemed to have been perfectly nice about the situation, and now that horrible woman is a mother-in-law. Lady Amethyst says, first of all, I don't think you're the arsehole. You made plans to respect their choice of a child-free wedding and asked only when your plans fell through at the last minute. You are given permission, you had people to watch the baby at the event. I take no quarrel with the series of events. I think that we can also agree that race is a factor here and I don't want to ignore that. She was the problem. But I hope you can understand that for everyone that wasn't allowed to bring their children, there may be some resentment that you were offered an exception. Personally, I feel like it should be all or nothing. Either don't do a child-free wedding or don't give exceptions, it just causes hard feelings. Personally, I don't like the idea of having a day so perfect it can't have a kid crying ruining it. Weddings are about family and relationships, and children make up a lot of it. That's just an opinion. It holds no weight, and I offer it only as an aside. Needles says everyone sucks here. When you make the call for a child-free wedding, everybody has to make the sacrifice. The bride and groom shouldn't have given you an exception. Amelia should have stayed at your sister's away from the wedding, and the groom's parents just suck in every way possible. OK says you're the arsehole, especially since you put the bride on the spot by asking. It is your job to find a sitter or not go to child-free events. You asked the bride and she said yes, but you never should have made your childcare anyone else's problem. Taking just one baby to a child-free event causes everyone that didn't bring kids to wonder why that baby is here but mine aren't. If you had better manners, you would know this. And where was the father of this child? Dart says everyone sucks here. The groom's mother, obviously. But you didn't report to us some exhaustive search for alternate care. A year ago, you arranged for childcare, and a week before the event, this flake said she wouldn't be in the city. What? You have no other family or friends in your entire life, or the child's father or family. You knew this was child-free. I'm sure your kid is the bestest ever, and you made a point of telling us that, which you made a point of telling us yourself that, as a reason for there being no need to find alternate care. After all, I have the best kid. It'd be great while you're an actual bridesmaid. Even if family kids couldn't come, you shouldn't have brought your kid. You have an amazing friend. I'm sure she's taken a lot of heat for it. Be a great friend and apologize profusely. I think I connected with Lady Amamist the most, their comment, because obviously mother-in-law sucks for obvious reasons. And I don't think OP, in my opinion, I don't feel that OP is the arsehole. You know, sometimes they did make plans to have babysitters, and it fell through in the last week. The last comment said about, oh, you've got no one to do it. You know, childcare is sometimes difficult, even like with a week left. So I kind of understand, you know, approaching the bride and saying, is it possible? You know, the bride can say no. It might put her on the spot, sure, but she can say no. And it's either that or OP drops out of the wedding, who's also a bridesmaid as well, which is another issue in itself. And I also understand that, you know, there's a potential to invite drama into the wedding by letting her bring her child at the same time. And there will be some people on the sidelines going, oh, why can't I bring my kid? Whereas I'm going to put myself in that wedding and I'm sat there and, you know, I've arranged babysitters and all that kind of thing for the evening. Someone brings their child along. I'd probably initially question it, going, hold on, you know, I thought this wedding was child free. But at the same time, I might be like, well, I've got the evening off, you know, I'm going to enjoy this instead, rather than worrying about someone else. But in the end, OP had an issue. It was solved by the bride, who said, yeah, bring the baby along as an exception. Seemed happy to do so. So I'm going to say I'm not the arsehole in this one for me. So OP comes in with their update and says, hi again, everyone. I want to first start off with a huge thank you for all your advice and reassurance. That said, before I go into the post, I've seen a few racist comments towards my daughter and remarks about my age and how I ruined my life. I'm extremely happy, and so is my daughter. She is beautiful, and it's terrible that people in this world will take their self-hate out on a 2-year-old. Anyways, I wanted to give an update and clarify a few things after I read the feedback I received. First off, I do have a Facebook account, but I don't use it often. I only found out about the post because someone sent it to me on messages, which is how I saw the groom's mother's comments. Regarding Amelia's father, he couldn't take her that weekend because he lives a bit further away and struggles when plans change last minute, especially when it's not his scheduled days to have her. On top of that, my family members who I would trust to watch Amelia were all attending the wedding, so there weren't many other options. Now, some of you mentioned I could have dropped out of the wedding, and I wanted to address that. Dropping out of the bridal party was actually the first option I presented to the bride when I realized I couldn't find a new babysitter. I didn't want to complicate her big day. However, she didn't want me to drop out and reassured me that it'd be fine to bring Amelia. So while bringing my daughter was the second option, the bride did have the choice of me stepping down if she had preferred that. Yesterday I spoke with the bride again, and she told me that she explained everything to her mother-in-law, making it clear that it wasn't my fault Amelia was there. It was a decision made between her and her husband. She also revealed the real reason behind the child-free rule. It wasn't directed at all kids. The bride had been trying to avoid having her mother-in-law's grandchildren there because they had been nightmares at other events, as described by the bride herself. The bride didn't want to cause any more drama by openly sharing that reason, so she kept it under the radar. I feel a lot better knowing that my friend still supports my decision, and I'm relieved that the real issue wasn't about me or Amelia. While I'll definitely be more cautious with similar situations in the future, I'm glad I prioritized Amelia's safety and well-being. Thanks again to everyone who shared their thoughts. I truly appreciate it. And I'm glad that things were good between the bride and OP in the end. I don't think that's the end of the story for mother-in-law and her shenanigans though, but That's a different timeline, isn't it? A different family, if you like, a different Marvel universe. So let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from Subject from the Am I the Arsehole Here subreddit that says, Am I the Arsehole Here for reversing my vasectomy after my wife asked for a divorce? My 40 male, wife 40 female, seems to want a divorce. She started hinting on divorce months ago, sending me passive-aggressive articles and videos. Our latest fight was about an article she sent me about a woman leaving her husband for dishes. I didn't read it and started bugging me about reading it, and I told her that I am not reading it. I told her that if she's going to divorce me because I left dishes in the sink, then do it already, because I'm going to leave dishes in the sink sometimes. It's not the end of the world, and if we're so overpowered by dishes, I will just hire someone to do the dishes for me. She then asked for a divorce and I just ignored her. She then told me to move out and I said I will. I will move out by the end of the month like she wanted. I'm also planning to reverse my vasectomy. She was very offended by it. I just told her that I got a vasectomy for her because she asked me to, and since we're divorcing, I don't have a reason to continue it. But she didn't accept that reason. She accused me of having another woman in mind. I didn't have anyone to have more kids with and no plan to have more kids for now. But I should continue being sterile because my wife wants me to. The same wife who wants to divorce me because of dishes. It's ridiculous. I don't understand it. I got a vasectomy because she asked. When she asked, she even told me that vasectomy is reversible if I change my mind. Now I'm getting served a shit sandwich of divorce and I'm not even allowed to reverse a vasectomy. It's just ridiculous. Is anyone getting the feeling that there's so much missing information? I felt so much resentment in that one post. And it's just text format. So feeling that in this, there's something going wrong here. And as always, it's not about the dishes, is it? It's not going to be just about the dishes. And it all escalated so quickly, just like 3 lines in it, I told her to just divorce me, then she asked for a divorce, and now I'm getting served a shit sandwich of divorce. It was like, what? A green-eyed hawk says, I've never in my life seen someone work so hard to miss the point. I guarantee this divorce isn't about dishes. Randomly Watt says the article he stubbornly refused to read is literally all about that too. The point of it is, it's not about the dishes. Dude is clueless that he's a terrible husband. The Crazier says, yeah, I agree. I mean, why even tell her about the reversal? Get a divorce and get the reversal. What does it have to do with a soon-to-be ex-wife that he told her as some form of attack or threat? Weird. Waiting says, and quotes why even tell her about the reversal, and says because the whole point of the reversal isn't to have kids, it's to hurt her / get a reaction from her. Wonder Wife says, you're going to divorce me because you say I don't do things you ask me for. Fine, I'll show you by taking back the one thing you asked me to do that I actually did. Caped says, lol, you don't want kids, but you want to reverse the surgery. That's certainly going to show her. Yeah, and the vasectomy was definitely, just to get back at her at some reason. You can choose what you want to do. You can reverse a vasectomy, or if you want to, that's your choice, but you have to admit to yourself why you're actually doing that. And it certainly felt like a way, well, I'm going to fucking show you. I'm going to reverse that. But OP comes in with their update and says, I told my wife I am not moving out. If she wants me out, she should file for divorce and we can work things out. I told her that I would ask my sister to accompany me for surgery, and she would stay for a few days with us to take care of me, so her life won't be affected in any way. I also told her that I'm going to hire help for the household stuff so she literally doesn't have to do anything until we are staying together. What resulted was 2 hours of silence, and then it was followed by something that can only be described as a hysterical shitstorm. She was alternating between crying and screaming like a banshee. I am still shell-shocked, or maybe I just don't care. It's hard to tell. I called her mum and she's been living with us and dealing with her. I am mostly avoiding her. I was able to hire someone on short notice, but my wife accused her of sleeping with me, so she is not coming back. My main focus is on reversing my vasectomy for now. I will deal with other things after that. And Tension said on this, why is reversing your vasectomy your main focus? And that was my exact thoughts. You're just about to go through divorce. There's going to be a lot of paperwork, a lot of dealing with logistics of how you're going to deal with it, like all the furniture, the house. I guess at some point one of you is going to be moving out and be like, nope, vasectomy time. sister, I need you to move in with me. It's like, what the fuck you doing? But remember, Brancer says, spite. Night Owl says, I think it's more of, I made a joint decision with my partner to be proactive in contraception, and we decided not to have children. She's decided to end the marriage. I would like to have the option of having children with a future partner, should that be something we agree on. That's not spite, that's strategic forward thinking. Remember who said spite replies to that saying, in the original post, this all started because you refused to acknowledge your wife's work in the house. She kept trying to get you to understand through articles and you refused to read those. Only then did she ask for a divorce. So why do you want a vasectomy so badly? To inflict more housework that you don't help the next wife with. Plenty for Everyone says, his affair partner wants a kid. And Remember replies to that saying, good luck to her then, because he won't be helping her at home either. Gee bloody whiz with a cherry on top. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. And we're going to have one more story from the Am I the Arsehole here subreddit from Automatic Path 3055. This one's a top one at the moment. It's titled, Am I the Arsehole for telling my daughter I won't pay for a wedding until she is 25? I have 3 kids and this is about my youngest. I've paid for all my older kids' weddings with basically no strings attached. My 2 older kids are 26 and 28. The middle child is going to have a wedding when she is 27, and my oldest just had his wedding. My youngest is in college and she just turned 20. She's been dating Jim and he proposed. He is 25 and out of school. I'm not a huge fan that he has been out of school for 2 years and is dating a college student, especially when that started when she was still a teenager. My daughter can't even drink while he literally has a career. He proposed and I learned about it yesterday. She wants to get married next summer. I sat her down and told her I will not pay for the wedding. I believe she is too young and that she is still in college. I told her that I will pay for all of it if they have long engagements and she is 25. I told her this gives her plenty of time to finish her degree and she will have some work experience under her belt before marriage. Also, if they love each other, it shouldn't be an issue waiting a few years. She was pissed and called me a jerk. My other daughter thinks this is a good call, while my son thinks I'm being a dick also. And we'll start off with Newton's third lawyer who says not the arsehole. If I'm not mistaken, the age isn't to do with the number, but more the solidity of the relationship. And that I think is valid. Between the ages of 18 to 23, 24, even up till 30 is such a roller coaster of changes and mentality that people can genuinely want completely different and opposite things as an 18-year-old to a 25-year-old. The long engagement is a good way around it. Maybe promise that you'll pay for a wedding after she graduates, even before 25, so as long as they're engaged until then. It's your money at the end of the day, and while you've paid for your other siblings, I'm sure their weddings were maybe more thought out and pre-planned with mature and similarly aged spouses. I think you should try to minimize making your youngest feel treated unfairly while still getting your way, but overall, not the arsehole I believe. Opie says yeah, she also has only been with this guy almost a year. I'm seriously worried about her dropping out of college if they marry. And someone said about, yeah, a quick engagement is enough to consider not paying, and Opie replies to him, to be honest, the quick engagement makes me dislike him even more. It looks like he's trying to trap her. Why was a 24-year-old that already was graduated sniffing around college girls? My daughter was 19. Why isn't he going after people who already graduated or were almost graduate? Why in 10 months he already wants to marry her? Looks to me he wanted someone young that he would easily be able to control. She doesn't even have a college degree or any real world experience. She doesn't have money. She can't just leave. Like this dude has every advantage against her. Tree Chemistry says not the arsehole. You're looking out for her future by placing this stipulation. She absolutely should finish her schooling before getting married. And if he is the one, he'll still be on board 5 years from now. And if he's not a good person, 5 years is long enough time for his true colors to bleed through. Your older daughter thinks it's a good idea because she understands the dynamics of being the wife in the scenario. Your son probably has never thought of issues of control or abuse for young wives with older husbands. It's not a bad thing. Being blind to the possibility of abuse means he's never thought of abusing anyone, but being naive isn't a winning argument. And one more comment from Giggity Giggity Goof who says, people get it so twisted. You're offering to pay for her wedding. Everything in my life is coming from my own pocket. If my parents said they'd pay for my wedding and all I had to do was wait a few years, I'd be ecstatic. Tell her to stop being a brat or pay for her own damn wedding if she wants it that badly. But now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Do you agree with the comments on this one? Or maybe you see things a bit differently? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.
Yeah, man, I remember being so naive when life was good, weather and palm trees. Back in the day, you were everything I need. But then along came a time when you crushed my dreams. Oh yeah, you played me like a fool when you made me believe that the line between love wasn't thick enough to read. Oh yeah, you see we in despair,